I'm Simon Scholes, and I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency. We help brands and businesses create content that helps them stand out a little bit more than your average piece of content on social media, be that video, animation, aerial work, graphics, all sorts of different types of things. However, a few years ago, it became obvious to me not every brand, not every business had marketing budget to have content created consistently. And that's one of the huge things about social media. You need to be consistent with what it is that you're putting out as a message and as the value that you've got to give in the content that you're creating. So what I did was I sat down and I came up with a process which I called How to 9 Times Your Social Media. I turned it into a former #1 book on Amazon, which you can download for free right now until August. So if you haven't got hold of your copy right now, get hold of your copy. The link will be in the section below. I want to talk tonight about scheduling tools. This is something I've spoken about in the past. We're going to talk about it again now. There are a lot of scheduling tools that are available for you to use. And I am not going to put a downer on any of them. I'll be honest with you. I think they're fantastic tools. They're amazing. However, they have a time and a place. Scheduling tools can be a little bit of a problem, can be very problematic, in fact, for content on different platforms. The reason for this being is that when you post from an external website through scheduling, be it any of the big names, the Hootsuites, the Buffers, the Tailwinds, the Laters, whoever it might be, when you post from one of those particular sites, a little hyperlink appears just at the top and where it says posted by. And rather than saying posted by Simon Scholes, and so they're not being a hyperlink there because it's my content and my channel and my stream that it's been posted from, it's been posted from somebody else. So it puts a little hyperlink in there so people can click on it and go to that website. The problem being is that the platforms that we all use and we all know see that hyperlink and then go, well, hang on a minute. We've got you on Facebook at the moment and we don't want you leaving Facebook. So there's a hyperlink there to take you away from Facebook, right? Well, we're going to have to punish this piece of content in the algorithm and not allow as many people to see it as we normally would do. And that way your content gets pushed down people's feeds. And unless they're scrolling for ages, you generally don't get found, which is why scheduling tools are great at what they can do, but you have to be careful how you're using them. So for me, personally, I don't really use scheduling tools all that much, except when I'm maybe going on holiday or with certain bits of content going on a regular basis on things like Twitter, where you don't necessarily get punished for using an external schedule tool. For example, the problem being is that basically if a platform has the ability to do something that you want to do, they want you to use that ability. So Facebook don't like you to put links to YouTube videos because Facebook can have native video stored on Facebook. So why would they want you putting it on YouTube and putting a link to YouTube back on the Facebook website? Because they don't want that. They want you to use YouTube and YouTube Watch to store your content rather than YouTube. They want you to use Facebook and Facebook Watch rather than using YouTube. Get my words in the right order. And that's the same with scheduling. Why would Facebook be happy with you using something like Hootsuite or Buffer or Later when they have Facebook Manager? So you can schedule content using Facebook Manager. You can't do it within a post directly anymore. They changed fairly recently. You were able to initially on Facebook, the platform, on your phone app, and also on the computer, were able to type in a piece of content and go, I want to actually this out later rather than right now because I think it'll work better. Okay, so you went into schedule and you would schedule it. You can't do that anymore. You can still schedule, but you have to use Facebook Manager to do that. So you have to either download the app on your phone or you have to go to Facebook Manager as a page on your laptop or on your desktop instead. So it's still there as an ability. You just have to go and find it. But assume that because Hootsuite has it all built in, that's the place to be doing it. You need to basically do it on Facebook natively because they have the ability to do scheduling on their software. So don't use somebody else. However, there is a bit of a caveat on this. If you are going on holiday and you don't want to spend hours upon hours upon hours scheduling content in different places because there's native on Facebook and later for Instagram, and then you can use Hootsuite for LinkedIn and for Twitter and all that kind of stuff. If you don't want to do that and you've done a little bit of testing and you've not seen such a huge drop off, you will see a drop off in the amount of interaction your content gets if you're using a scheduling tool. But if you've not seen a huge amount of drop off because you don't get that amount of interaction in the first place, then do it all in one place. It doesn't matter if you're going on holiday, do it all in one place. If you're at home and you're not going anywhere, it's only going to take you an extra 10 minutes or so to schedule via Facebook and then put it onto Hootsuite as well. So suck it up and do it. But if you're going on holiday and you've kind of got other things you want to get sorted, then do it all on Hootsuite, do it all on Buffer, what have you, and absolutely fine and dandy. Now, the free versions of these platforms will allow you to do 2 or 3 particular platforms of scheduling. Then you have to pay to do more. Like I say, you will get punished for using things like Hootsuite, Buffer, and all the others that are out there. However, there is one other platform that you can pay for that is a scheduling tool for Instagram that actually is quite liked by Instagram because it's partly owned and programmed by the guys at Facebook and is later. So if you are looking to schedule your content for Instagram, Tailwind's brilliant. I love it. And it can really help. But again, it's an external piece of software. Later is not. And I've known people who've done testing on this and not seen really any drop off in the amount of likes or the amount of interaction that the content gets by posting through later to posting directly at the time on Instagram. So if you want to schedule on Instagram, later is a tool to be taking a look at. And I will put a link to that in the section below so you can go check it out. On the phone, it's also a piece of software on your computer as well. You'll need to know all your log details because it obviously wants to connect to it. And I know when I tried to do it, I was like, oh crap, I can't remember my password. So I had to reset my password and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great tool to be using. And that's kind of it with scheduling, really, is they are great tools to use and they make life a whole lot easier. But you've got to be a little bit careful about what content it is that you are scheduling and what stuff you're actually going to put out live and how you're scheduling certain stuff. Facebook have it native to their platform. Use Facebook Manager to natively schedule your content. Don't use an external piece of software. But if you're putting out, for example, the top 10 tips, and you've got 10 tips and you just go around on a rotation over and over and over again, why wouldn't you use something like Hootsuite or Buffer to just basically put them out every single day so you've got that piece of content going out on a regular basis without having to think about it? Because it doesn't really matter too much on Twitter, like I say, because Twitter doesn't necessarily punish so much for external links. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to think about with scheduling. And if you are struggling to kind of get a grasp of what I've said about scheduling, drop me a line. We can have a one-to-one and have a chat through it or something like that. And I can help you understand it a little bit more. But basically what I'm saying is don't do it using an external site. Use the native platforms if they're available. Later is a paid-for platform, but great for Instagram because it's partly owned by Facebook and Facebook own Instagram. And all the others, you use them for content that doesn't really matter whether it gets a huge amount of interaction. You just want it going out on a regular basis or onto platforms like Twitter.